Only thing I've ever got for being loyal was money and scar tissue. They can't open with him, it's a skill and bar issue. You should have stuck with him. I murdered by.
All right, let me see if I can get my man Precyce in here.
When the pistol blew, you ride nigga men the same reason that you took. Y'all should get on me with this shit, maybe you don't. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Nah, chill, I'm not on that type of level. But when you rockin' with Precyce, it's a different type of level. Yo, Mike, what's up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
All right, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. Comfortable.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
glad to see you, man. Glad to see you, man. Glad to hear
Hey,
from you.
glad to see you too, man. Definitely glad to see you too. Always.
All right. Yo, and you know, I always gotta talk to my man, the God.
Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta come through and say what up to one of my favorite DJs. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, I gotta before we even start the interview, I gotta give you your props. Another banger.
Thank you.
This 2 years in a row you done deliver like that.
Thank you.
But actually, you always deliver. I'm not gonna sit there and knock off your other accounts because you've always had solid albums. But that last Stallone and Weathers album, I played that damn near all the way to damn near November, the other November, because I kept coming back to it. Like, this is one of my albums of the year. This shit is so fucking dope.
Yeah.
And here you go. You follow up that album with this album.
Yep. Great and terrible, man.
This album is like, oh man, you told me it was like one of your better personal albums, your best personal album. I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a lot of growing. Like I did a bunch of growing, and this would be great for the interview. But I did a bunch of growing, man. And it's like, you know, I keep writing about stuff that's happened to me and stuff that's happening to me now. It's like it's easy to pick up a pen and just write about reality when it's reality. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You struggle when you have to make stuff up.
All right, well, yo, like I said, the album is banging. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. Now, give me a few seconds to set up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna connect you. I'll play one more track for you. There's Loyal John. I mean, I already knew this was gonna be banging once I heard these couple of tracks, but after listening to the album, I was like, I couldn't even find nothing to be mad about. It's like, oh shit. I was so glad. You know, usually when people send me an album, I used to try to find some kind of fault with it. I'd be like, okay, this is damn near a perfect album. And I was like sitting there like, damn, when I was listening to it, I was sitting there saying to myself like, damn, he done killed it this time. Shit, this is another banger. God damn. I had to listen to it on my fourth time listening to it. I'm like, yo, this dude killed it again, man. He had the right balance of production. He said the right amount of words. The lyrics was there. The emotion was there. The shit was like dope. Yo, I got to give you props on the other. I'm going to talk about this.
Okay.
Talk about
cool.
the songs. But,
yeah, man, please do. Please do. I'm here with you, man.
Yo, I got to admit, for what you doing, Muffins, I'm glad you sequence those songs one behind each other. I'm going to tell you why later.
Okay.
But then again, you know why you did it.
Great. I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to talk about, bro, I'm here.
Now remember, we are on FM radio, so please.
Yeah, no cursing. I got you. Well, see, I don't want to. Every interview I do now, like I've been doing like a lot of interviews, I don't curse because I know my son is going to look these interviews up, and I want him to know how to get his point across without using foul language. I want him to articulate what he's saying.
Okay, so, no problem. Well, I usually don't have that problem with you anyway. Only when you get super excited.
Nah, I try to keep it super professional, man. Like I said, it's a lot of growth, man. It's been a lot of growth for these past couple of years, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're about to put you in. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Because you know I play official ride. Taught you how to hold your pistol tight, lock your aim and play the game until the whistle ride. Play your part in your position, ain't a shooter on your roster that was sharper with precision. So you can make peace with your God or make a decision, huh? Because you know I play official ride. Bottom feeder.
Bottom feeder.
Yes, sir.
Check one, check one, check one. You are tuned to WXIR 100.9 LPFM, your extreme independent radio station. Also on SFTU 585 radio, available through radio.co. Welcome to the Straight from the Underground on FM show every Friday night from 7 o'clock to 10. It's your boy DJ Chris G, the King of the North, hitting you with new music from Precyce Politix from the new album, The Great and Terrible. The name of the joint is called Golden One. We just got finished hearing that. You can also find that on the EP, The Return of the A and B side too, which is available on Bandcamp. But basically, the whole album, Great and Terrible, it's available on Bandcamp.com. Also, right before that, new music from from Precyce Politix with The Loyal, which is dope. And yeah, I've already been talking about this already on my IG already. We're doing the behind the scenes joint. If you want to see how we're going to do the interview, you can join IG right now at IG DJ Chris G585. But for the people that's right now listening on FM or through the internet, you can hear me talking to my man Precyce Politix right now. Yo, Precyce, what's up? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hold on one second. Make sure I get you in here right. Okay, go ahead, Precyce.
What's going on, brother? Check one, check two. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, you can
All
hear me?
right. Yeah, man. Loud and clear. What's going on?
Yes. Yo, shout out to my man Precyce Politix. He's been in this game for quite some time. You've heard him with the group Stallone and Weathers. You heard him on his own. He's been a steady influence and basically a proponent and a listener, and not to mention a person that gives a lot of stuff to Straight from the Underground. We've been playing him pretty much since I've been on the air here on WXIR. We've always played something from him pretty much every year. And yo, producer K Hill, Sharp Cuts, Balls, there's mad people that he's been involved with, and pretty much he's been a great dope MC. I would say, and this is gonna be I don't know if you're gonna take this as praise, maybe you might take it as a diss, but I've always thought of you as like, and people are gonna get on me about this. I was with you as the NC version, even though I know you're from NYC, the NC version of Jay-Z in his early days.
Yo, that's crazy. So the thing about Jay, and I don't take it as a diss, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, they're gonna compare you to somebody, you know what I'm saying? But as long as your authenticity shines through, Jay is on another level. I mean, I even said that in The Lawyer when I was playing with it. Like, allow me to reintroduce chill, I'm not on that type of level. Like, I even said that. One day I will be on that level. I'm talking about, success as well as, the pen game. You know what I'm saying? Jay's pen game is immaculate. Mine is too, but it's just not on that level.
I don't know.
Maybe that's a compliment.
I've been listening to Jay since the beginning, and a lot of times when I'm listening to you, I hear a lot of like early Jay.
I mean,
like when Jay was just, the first couple of albums where Jay was finding his real lane.
Yeah.
That's where I see you at right now. Now, like I said, I don't mean to compare you to Jay and say that you sound like him like that, but I see a lot of the way you rhyme and the way you come off sometimes, and sometimes even some of the lyrics you kick. It's the way I would imagine Jay would have said it back in the day too.
I mean, I'm a child of hip hop, So of course, growing up in Brooklyn, of course, I grew up on Jay. I grew up on Raekwon and Ghost. I grew up on the Locks. I grew up on Big L, Prodigy, and Havoc. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on those guys. You know what I'm saying? So I would be crazy to sit here and say that I didn't, be influenced from all of them, So it's a compliment to me. I don't get stretched out about that because I'm just like, yo, you hear what you hear, and the tone is the tone and the voice is the voice. But no matter what, it's Precyce Politix. Like people always can tell when it's me. I've even had some people, no name, no blame. They miss when I go on other radio shows and interviews, and they're like, yo, who was that? Yo, that's a new Papoose joint. And I'm just over there looking at them like, nah, that's me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, I thought that was Poose. But, I think it's the New York tone. Like we have a tone. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get upset about that. Like when I was younger, I would get upset about that. But now I'm like, yo, you know what? Whatever brings you closer to my world and makes you buy my records, makes you buy my stuff, that's fine if you want to compare me. But you know that I'm not biting or nothing like that. You know what's Precyce
Oh
Politics.
no. And you was talking about your pen game earlier. I would say your pen game is pretty much dope. I not to compare you to anybody or even say that, but I've always liked your pen game too as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You
It's
you
definitely
come up with ways to say things that I haven't heard any other rapper really say the way they say it. You know how you look at Cool G Rap, how he can say pretty much the same thing, but he says it in a different way each and every time. I
oh
think
yeah.
you've done it the same way, where it's like you'll talk about a situation you've been in before, but you said it a totally different way. Or
Yeah, different
totally different
perspectives.
perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different perspectives. Definitely, like I can tell the same story, but I can tell it from another person's perspective. You know, I can tell you what went down in the alleyway, but I can tell you from another perspective, like from another witness's eye, from the mother of the person that was in there, from the father of the person. You know what I'm saying? The inner thoughts that that person had. You know, the guilt. I mean, I can pretty much tell you all of that, and that just comes from repetition and just working on my craft. I'm always writing. So my turnaround time is crazy. So it's like, you know, I always write and I always practice because, you know, I love the craft. I'm comfortable right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's where the great and terrible
Yeah.
came from.
And in fact, why did you name the album The Great and Terrible?
Because when you listen to the album, there are some things that you can get on board with that the protagonist says, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I do the joint Mutant Powers about my son and, you know, his
Dope
autism.
joint.
I call autism, thank you. I call the autism mutant powers, you know what I'm saying? And just to be closer to my son, I went ahead and got tested and I'm actually autistic as well. So I have mutant powers as well. That's why there's a line like, yo, your father got mutant powers too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I try to talk to everybody like, yo, you know, no matter what, there's nothing wrong with us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's mutant powers. It's just we think differently and we move differently, but there's nothing wrong with us. The considered normal, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who would want to be normal anyway? You know what I'm saying? So then you got that, and that's great. But then you got a joint like Son of Sam 44. Shout out to Drugs Beats. Shout out to my man Bip Webb. He killed that, my man Bip. You know what I'm saying? We got Son of Sam 44 where I'm talking wild, you know, and it's like the great and the terrible. It's like, man, this album is great. But he talks about some crazy stuff on here too, you know. And then you flip it again, it's like My Life Now, like the very first song, the title track. I'm talking about my life now. And it's like, yo, I miss the street stuff. I know that I know I don't need to be a part of that right now because I got a son and I got a nice crib and you know what I'm saying? I got everything that I wanted, but it doesn't equate to happiness. Like I said, only time I'm happy is when I'm hugging my son, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I reminisce about the block, you know what I'm saying? Like that happens, you know, that's where I came from. I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong. It's great and it's terrible.
Right.
So that's what I mean the album that.
Well, like I said, the album pretty much builds. It builds from the beginning, and then it goes to a couple of the, like I said, the normal singles, the Loyal and Goldeneye, and then you get into a bunch of other stuff. And like I said, the features on here. You've always been an artist that didn't rely too much on features. You pretty much kept the in-house, the people. And I like the joint SOS. You know, Son of Sam with the dude there. He's new to me, but I've heard him before. I heard him before. He's been on other joints I played in the past.
Yeah,
I liked him on that one too as well.
My man Bip, he's nice, man. He's a part of Team Madison. He got a partner too. Like he's dope too. But nah, Bip's always been dope. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first heard Bip, it was all love between us. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this dude sounds just like the War Report. Like he sounds like the whole album, and I can't explain it. But the way he raps and the way he carries himself, it's like one of my favorite albums, The War Report. And then I got to know him, and he became one of my favorite people too. So it's like, yo, he's criminally underrated. You know, so I was like, nah, I got to get him on here. You know, but I don't do a lot of features because it's my show. You know what I'm saying? Like you bought the album for me. You didn't buy the album for the people that I know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I want to give you guys a great show, and I want to showcase how nice I am with going through different stages. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of songs on there that, you know, bring about different emotions. You know what I'm saying? So your favorite might be your favorite today, but tomorrow, if you go through something, you might have a new favorite, you know? So
Hey,
I think that's the mark of a good album. That's the mark of good music in general.
now speaking of features, let me go into a couple of the features right now. That in fact I'm gonna run that, and we're gonna come right. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna let
Okay.
people hear some of these joints right here. One of them is with your boy Malls. You
Yeah,
know, shout out
of
to
course.
Malls quick, and your other partner K Hill.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, God's
absolutely.
number, Cables and K. And like I was struggling trying to figure out which joint because I wanted to play the entire album. And I didn't want to do that to you. We gotta give some of the album you guys gonna have to go out and buy. You guys gonna have
Hmm.
to go out and listen to it for yourself or go grab it yourself. So go support my man. It's on Bandcamp right now. It's not on any of the streaming services yet. So
It's
you guys, if you want to listen to it, you gotta go to bandcamp.com and pick it up. Go ahead.
so it's about to be on the other paying services where you got to actually buy the album. Because it's like we look at it like this, and I say we because my team, you know, we agree. It's like if my man DJ Chris, if you cop the album, right? You buy the album, you spend hard earned on that. You could have spent it on anybody else, but you spent it on me. You know what I'm saying? It would be a spit in the face if I let another person just hear the whole joint for free. They got access to what you got access to, but you paid for it, and they're paying a subscription to something that I don't even get a piece of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like we got to start taking control back. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like my fans are my fans, and they're like in a lot of places. Like I have fans in places where my Timberlands never touched the soil. Praise God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can I sit there and disrespect them by giving the same product that they spent hard-earned money on to the next man so he or she can listen to it for free? Like, I love it when people listen to my music. I don't like disrespecting my fans. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. So it's like, it's beyond business. It's beyond business. You know what I'm saying? It's respect for your fans and your craft. And you can't have respect for one without respect for the other. So
Got
it's going to be, it's coming on the other paid joints like the Apples and all of that. You know, it's coming on that if it's not there already. But like, you know, as far as listening to it for free, I might throw a couple of singles here and there just to, you know what I'm saying? But like the whole album, nah, you can't do that because that man paid me $10 for it and you didn't pay me nothing. You
Okay,
shouldn't be able to get the
we'll
same
be
thing.
right back with that. Hold that thought. We're gonna be right because you are independent artists and uh, you have a lot of acumen you could spit for everybody and tell people how to move independently. So stay with that just a second. Let's get into this joint called Cables featuring Mars and another one called God's Number featuring K Hill. We'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, man.
Hey yo, I stopped rocking my cables and here's the reason. I do it in the worse than Iverson, I can't reach it. The Jews that I lost on the daily come from knowledge. So when you see the God brand step and pay homage, these singing wild damage in the
Yo, I love the way they flip this. They flip the reaching on a star shit.
Yeah, Cables, man. Man, that's
Yo,
drugs. Drugs
yo,
beats did that.
drugs. He flipped the shit out of that. I had to sit there and was like, is reaching on the star? Is he really using it? And I was like, he just used a piece of it and flipped it still.
Yeah.
That's what it.
And
Yo,
then he made Shorty in the background sound like she's saying Cables.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
Hey,
joints.
you sound like super hungry on this shit too.
Hmm. Yeah, man, different voices with different choices, you know what I'm saying? Like can't go the same way on every song.
And you left some room for Mars to come off too. And shit.
Oh yeah. Now Malls always does this thing.
Shout out to Mars.
Yeah, man. He just did a really dope show too. He had a show and he actually had me and Sharp come up there and we did a Bash Brother joint on his show. So that was really dope.
Right.
boys and leaders, you either a victor or a victim. My eyes speak like I'm sick of them. A teacher of a master class, take notes of the curriculum. Giving out bars is no issue, man, I'm fit with them. The weapons stay tough, never a need of concealing them. I pay dues with interest, but still owe my college loans. Never are to even breathe, but it's like a palindrome.
I see you, DJ Showtime. We're gonna talk about
Hey,
that
Joker,
more.
Joker, I see you there. Tony Boy, I see you in there. Yeah, I did it worse than Iverson and catcher reaches.
Yeah, yo. When I wrote that hook, and Malls heard it, he said, "Yo, we got to do back and forth on that." I said, "Yup."
Nice to hear Bash Brothers joint.
Oh yeah, you know I got a kid. Everything that I grew with. You know what I'm saying? I had to put it on this album.
Shout out to Drugs Beats.
Yeah, absolutely. You already know that's my dude.
He didn't even have to do that. I was like, oh, he did use that. He did use that shit.
Mm-hmm. You know, he nice.
This right here is dope too.
Yeah, my man
Guys never
Troublemaker. My man Troublemaker did that. He produced that. Me and Troublemaker grew up together.
Yeah, this beat got a lot to it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is like that superhero music shit right here.
Word life.
Yeah. I can hear this in a Black Panther movie.
Yo, speak that into existence, King. Overlooked. That's see you, baby. Good looking out.
The pain and the punishment when you betray him. David and Goliath, I'm the force God had him applying to the weapon to slay him. The itch in the back of your mind that make you think twice. The gravity of reality when you think you nice. My brother's keeper and emotional support system. I'm so proud of you for staying true. By staying you inspire greatness. I hope the truth of what I'm saying shines when they play this. The lunar with this flag waving on the front line. Politics, bringer up the dope. Restoring hope, no scope when I dump mine. Some of the ill that this shit never knew. One of the illest spitters ever, two that never blew. You rappers sell your soul.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for the clean edit too. I appreciate it.
No, yeah, no doubt. We was gonna do that anyway. Peace. Peace.
What the seven do? Had to show them what the seven do.
Hey newbie, what's up? We ear hustling. What's up?
Peace. Overlooked, good looking out. That's why we do it, right?
Dan, the flow is just fucking impeccable. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And I still believe in God because the word exists. I heard the gift over instrumentals for the sport, but I still need the bread. So thanks for your support. One snort, leave us against on their backs. The devil hate the truth, so I shoot, pulling triggers on the facts. I came a long way for pulling triggers for the stacks. For those that never had the stomach for it. You know the routine. Rappers brag about it all the time. Precyce handle beats, zero contracts. I never order mine. Send me on the line. Or they can get cut like breaking in the crazy longer line for the shorter time. Some of the illest shit I never knew. One of the illest spitters ever, two that never blew. You rappers sell your soul to generate the the revenue. I praise the most high, cause heaven got the better view. Believing that my brother Rodney's up in heaven too. God's number in the clip when the weapon drew. I had to show a non-believer what the seven do. I had the power in my hands the whole time, and I never knew. And they'd rather see us collide than see us collaborate.
I like the way K Hill came in.
Yo, he always got like the best voice for that, yo.
Yes, I am.
I kept him from the edge, making sure that he know the ledge. And my brother's keeper, yes, I are Allah. Daily wisdom, I can pass it along and makes a lot with faith. I made a lot of mistakes. I navigate my brothers to show them the other way. University or college will teach us knowledge of self. So we self-educate us a way to escape death at an early age. It's too early to visit pearly gates. My ears will live to be an OG of blurry fate. I'm on some steadfast, they on some hurry up and wait. Haste make the great side visitation permanent stays. So you can walk on by, get on some Isaac Hayes. We try to build a fan base like young Isaac Hayes. You better get right, it's now or never, cause in predatory you won't see Stallone and brothers.
Check one, check one, check one, check one. We're in here grooving, man, to this new I mean, yo, I was about to say Stolen Weather. The new Precyce Politix. Name of the joint is called God's Number, featuring K Hill, along with Cables featuring Malls, coming from the album The Great and Terrible right now. And I'm talking to a person that's great, and he's not too terrible. My man Precyce Politix is in the house. Yo, what's up?
What up, man? It depends on what day you catch me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm great, sometimes I'm terrible. You know what I mean? But I'm always precise no matter what, though.
Well, like I said, I've always enjoyed talking to you. You know, you've always been great. You've always been great to me. Like I said, it's always been dope, and I appreciate you coming on the show. And of course, one of the independent artists out there that's doing their thing. Like I said, I noticed you back when you've been an independent artist. I don't think you've ever been signed. Have you ever been signed? Let me ask you that.
So there was a deal on the table, but the math wasn't correct. So we actually walked away from that. I had 2 deals on the table, and both it wouldn't have been good for my growth. Let's put it that way. You know, independent is a state of business, and local is a state of mind. So always understand that no matter where you at, no matter where you're from, if you have that independent mind state, which means you understand that, you know, you're going to put out more money than you're going to get back at this level. As long as you understand that and you still write and rock out like you're rocking for 10,000 people, whether 10,000 people show up or 10 people show up, you still got to give them the best of you. You know what I'm saying? That is independent. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've been an independent artist for a minute, but I had some deals on the table, but they weren't lucrative. Not for me.
Earlier, you said something profound earlier where you was talking about how you've got fans in places where you've never put your Timbs to, you never stepped to.
Yeah.
Does that basically give you not just a pat on the back, but does that affect you in any way where you know there's other people in other countries, other areas that's listening to you, that feeling you?
Honestly, it makes me more humble than you know. Like, you know, of course I got the character, you know, God brand and stuff like that. And all the characters came together for this album. That's why I think it's so great. But like, you know, it makes me more humble because I'm like, man, there's a kid out there in France right now that's bumping some Precyce Politix, and him and his friends are probably, you know, God willing, you know what I'm saying? They probably just jam into my joints and talking about how dope they think it is, and maybe even going to like a barbershop up there and maybe having a conversation. Like maybe I'm barbershop talk worthy in other countries, you know what I'm saying? Like I actually, and it makes me really appreciate my fans, which really led to this turnaround in perspective and thinking as far as my business model. Because I had a fan and he was waiting on the first Drug Politics album, but he's been waiting for years because it fell through the cracks. No name, no blame. But I'm gonna take the blame for it anyway. So his order fell through the cracks, right? So what I did was I went ahead and ate the cost, and I sent him. His name is Jason. I sent him, you know, Drug Politics 1. I also sent him Drug Politics 2, on the arm, you know what I'm saying, for free because he was waiting so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a personal letter to him too, like, yo, thank you for being a fan. Thank you for supporting. I'm so sorry that it took this long. You know, please accept this as a token of my appreciation, of our appreciation, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not dope by myself. It's the people around me that make me dope. So, you know, independent, man, if you think like that, you're going to be independent and you're going to make it. It's not going to be instant. It's a grind, but you got to love what you do in order to do what you love. You know what I'm saying?
I was talking to my man Mav, one of the local MC. Well, I ain't gonna call him local. I can't call him that. His name is Mav. He's from this group called the Claw. He talk about he likes doing the independent grind basically because you get to weed out who's your real fans and the people that are just people that's just hanging around because you know people seem to like you. Whereas like, now you get to see who your real fans are because these are the fans. You know, it separates the wheat from the chaff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you also, like, you end up actually being kind of a beacon or like kind of a way out for other people. They kind of start to see you as that way out. And so now you got to think, are they rocking with me because because they see I'm buzzing right now? Or are they rocking with me because they've been rocking with me since day zero? So it's like you kind of really got to understand your circle around you, and you got to understand why it may get smaller. There's a lot of reasons why people change when it comes to this music stuff and they change around you. You know what I'm saying? Some people love you when you're on their level, but when you start to rise above their level, then they think that you've changed, which, you know, you have changed because you had to do more stuff. They think that you don't reach out as much as you do. But how can I if I'm on the road or if I'm like in the studio constantly or I'm trying to do a campaign? I mean, this is a campaign. It's like when you drop a new album, it's a campaign.
Right.
You out there shaking hands and kissing babies like you running for president off the block. But you really not. It's like it's your music. You got to promote it. What good is having the cure of cancer if you can't get it out to those that need it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like everything that you do as an independent artist takes time and it takes money and it takes patience and it takes energy and it takes faith. All of those things can kind of get in the way and make you, you know, like you can't be as accessible as you used to be. But you blame the mind and blame the grind. Don't blame the heart. You know what I'm saying? And if I knew that you was with me from the start, I'm gonna always reach out. Like you said earlier, you know, I'm always reaching out to you when I got new stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, if you want to do an interview, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind. You know, no, I appreciate you because this is a platform. This is a platform that that you know helps me just like with my campaign. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you for a person. I appreciate you for your platform, for just who you are. So, you know, thank you. Like I told you before, you're like one of my favorite DJs. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit my man off. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it doesn't mean that I'm forgetting others. It just means that I got a lot of stuff to do. And then I'm a dad on top of that. I'm a dad on top of that who also homeschools his kid. I got mad stuff on my plate. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. And I'm still able to, you know, put out music the way I want to. So, you know, independence has its ups and downs, but it just depends on how you look at it.
I also noticed that over the last year, you've been on a lot of feature stuff. Last week, I just played this new joint that you was on with you and K Hill was on at Stallone and Weathers from Cut One.
Yep. Shout out to Cut One.
I think you was on a cut with my man Water. I'm not sure. Or no, OC from NC.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He was on a cut from that, and I've seen your name pop up on a couple other things. I'm like, yo, y'all got Precyce on this joint? It's like, you what? You know, it's like, you know, I see you doing a lot of features now too, man. That's great. I love that for you.
It's a blessing, man. And I'm actually getting hit up by a lot of people that you would be surprised, man. Like it's like you sometimes you sit there and you think, why am I doing all this? Like I could be doing so much other things with my bread. I could be doing so much other things with my time. But it's like then somebody hits you up that I can't really say no names, but it's like they hit you up and they're like, yo, son, you nice. Or yo, what's good? how much would you charge for a feature? And I'm like, you crazy? Yo. But it's like, you know, you get stuff like that, and for me, it humbles me again, because I'm like, man, people are really listening. And my brother K Hill always tell me, yo, Sice, more people know about you than you think, bro. Like, you never know. Like, mad people know about you, Sice. I'm telling you, mad people know about you. So I'm like, yo, that's cool. And my brother's like, yo, P, I'm telling you, bro, Matt, yo, people know about you that I didn't even know that they knew about you. That they come up to me and be like, yo, your little brother, he's nice. Yo, I heard him on such and such's joint. And he's like, yo, word, you know about my brother? That's crazy. So, you know, you just never know, man. Just keep going.
I'm glad you see, you know, like I said, you're one of my great favorite MCs right now. And like I said, I don't want to knock you down and say that as far as like underground, because people will sit there and try to put you in that category. And I stopped putting people in that category some time ago. When people ask me who's like my favorite MCs, I'll sit there and just say that you may not know them, but Precyce Politix. And of course, you know, you'll get that look and be like, who's that?
Yeah.
You know, he's on the charts and all this. No, he's not on the charts. But as far as I'm concerned, he's on my chart. You know,
hey, man. Yo.
And when I was talking about the Stolen Weathers album last year, I was like, this is one of my favorite albums. I know a bunch of my people were sitting there like, what? Who? What? Like, yo, these dudes knocked out the park last year. What the hell y'all talking about?
Yo, I appreciate you, man.
Rhyming over drug beats, and people are like, who? But like I said, I've learned to ignore those people because they don't know. You know, they're not digging underground to find out who is dope in the underground as flavor.
And I don't mind being compared. I don't mind being placed in the underground. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever. You know, true. Underground is where the best stuff happens. We had the railroad, you know what I'm saying? We had the prohibition where you get the real liquor at. Everything was underground. It's cool. That's fine. That's where you get the realness at. To answer my man, was it Overlooked MC? My Instagram is at Sice Boogie. So that's CYC BOOGI. And I also want you to follow at Stallone and Weathers.
Yes.
You know, so for those that don't know, Precyce Politix, I am a part of Stallone and Weathers, which is me and K Hill. I'm also a part of the Bash Brothers, which is me, Sharp Cuts, and my man Malls that you heard on the joint. And I got Bash Brothers on there because, you know, Sharp Cuts, he produced Muffins, and he produced Mutant Powers, one of the most important joints of my life. And he also produced GoldenEye. So the Bash Brothers are on there. And of course, I'm also a part of Drug Politix, where it's me and Drugs Beats. You know what I'm saying? Grammy-nominated Drugs Beats, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, I got my hands in a lot of things because I just love music. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Yo, I'm nice enough to be able to carry this, you know what I'm saying? And I do what I do because I love what I do. So because I love what I do, it's easy for me to tell you that I do what I love, and you actually hear it. You know what I'm saying? So there's been times in the studio where a dude will walk in the studio and they'll be playing my stuff back, and he'll be like, yo, who this? And I'm just like, it's me. And then when he hear me say, yo, it's me, he's like, oh, it is you. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, you know what you sound like? And then that's when the conversation starts, you know what I'm saying? And then they talk about my hand tattoo, and then numbers are exchanged, and they ask me for a verse, and I hit them with a price, and sometimes I hear back from them, sometimes I don't, but that's the game. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yo, I'm giving you people that's in there tuned in right now. You're listening to WXIR 100.9 FM. I'm your boy DJ Chris G. You're listening to the Strickland Underground Show. We got my man Precyce Politix album, The Great and Terrible, is out right now. This is what we're talking about. This album is like golden 4-mic album right off the rip. If you listen to it, you might even rate it a little higher than me. But yo, for real, classic joint right now as far as I'm concerned. And we're gonna get into another couple of tracks from the album. Now, this album is very sequenced, very, very dopely. But this right here, I gotta give it the sequencing award. These two tracks, one behind each other. Let's just say this. On one part, it's called What You Doing. We hear it from Precyce's point of view. Then we hear from sort of like the female's point of view on Muffins. In fact, he tells a story. It's the same story, but basically 2 points of view on each one. I want you guys to listen to these two joints and tell me what y'all think of them in the chat. Hit me on the chat, IG DJ Chris G. Let me in Politics know what y'all think of these two joints, because I thought these two are dope stories. The way they follow each other was like so dope. So we gotta get into some music right here from the Great and Terrible. It's called What You Doing. This next one is called Muffins. So y'all check both of these out. We'll be back with more Precyce Politix. Stay tuned.
It's a crazy intro. The crazy intro to that, bro. I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and answer this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
No, we good. I'm still here. I'm just answering my mom's real quick.
Nice. WID.
Yeah, man. You know about them WYD text messages?
I had to go back and listen to this like 3 or 4 times. I was like, yo, this sequence is so dope.
Yo, you got to let them know, man. Listen.
This was like the first one I really kind of looked at. It was like, yo, you could do a video for this, for both of these.
It'd be a little raunchy, but you know, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I might do something animated. Who knows? So, yeah. I'll be right back. I'm not leaving. I'll be right back,
okay.
dog. I gotta do something for my son. I'll be right back. Still father life. I'll be right back.
I got a kitchen that's kind of small, but I can put that ass in the sink. Got a trench coat, I want to go pass in your milk. Got the pancake syrup if you staying for breakfast. Now, you ain't staying for breakfast. You coming to the crib and you get off. And you know you get off while you coming to the crib. You coming to the crib and you get off. And you know you get off while you coming to the crib. You coming to the crib and...
How many dudes been in this situation?
While you coming to the crib. You coming to the crib and you get off. And you know you get off while you coming to the crib. Bring your heels.
The flyers in the attic bar was fire, yeah.
It's kind of cool in it. Shit.
Peace and love.
So he came to the crib around 9. She rolled up late, but she on time. 7-inch heels.
I like the way they switched the beat up.
My man Troublemaker. Shout out to my man Troublemaker. He's nice.
I said, how'd you find a place, baby girl? Fine. Kissed that hand, she was just the basics. Home run slugger that's about to run the bases. Hope you brought knee pads all your faces. So before I do that, you gotta taste this.
Mikey 13, what up? Duck. Guts, what up? Yeah, son.
Now we laying in the bed, Adam and Eve naked. I said, well, time to make it. They gotta go, so get your purse and get your heels and get your keys and spin the wheel. She said, let's go to my place for the second date. I did, she could barely wait. The yams was good, the cake was good, the face was good. That grace your hood, you take the hoops it one more time.
You know, I went through something like this back in my younger days.
So, no daddy, baby.
I got you over. Look, I'm gonna follow you too, bro.
Baby, it's not you, it's me. I just think that there might be better places for you to be. Look, you saw the future with the house and kids 2 to 3.
And I went through this too. This pretty I like both these songs too.
Yo, when you go through something and you hear about it, it's like, yeah.
I respect your stance. But if you give it up on the first, don't sugarcoat it with romance. If you want to get it, fire. But don't ever picture yourself up in my shower early singing Mariah. Like, boy, don't you know you can't escape? Get your overnight bag, put it back in the whip. If I'm at a spot, tell her I'll be back in a bit. Picture boogie with the kids eating graham crackers and this shit. Baby, get fun. I know you're looking for forever love. I'm not the one.
Shout out to everybody tuning in, man.
What are we? I was like,
You can get the album at StalloneandWeathers.bandcamp.com.
Baby, it's not you, it's me.
You'll be able to get that album at other places too now.
Know you saw the future with the house and kids, 2 to 3. Something you deserve, but it's not something you do with me. Had this little shorty ex-husband was a Marine. She was so good that she turned me into a fiend. Brown skin, used to rock the throne like David Trumpet. All she wanted to do was work eating baked puppets. The shit was kind of crazy, but the head was magnificent. Muffins wasn't really that great, but then she told me that she loved me after 5 days. What was I to do? Worst part about it, son, she said I love you too. I was home deep, she was looking back at me. I was on the verge of social muscles grabbing me. Now I'm in the bed shaking.
This is a true story, by the way.
Yo, people that's listening to this version, I got the radio edit version, but you gotta listen to the regular version of this.
Yeah, it's a true story too.
They gonna catch you out there, I promise you. Baby, it's not you, it's me. I just think that there might be better fit. I'm losing my mind. And now I think about this woman all the time. My pops told me it was my fault. I let it get me. I played it by the book and never let her make spaghetti. But never thought twice about the muffins that she fed me. About the week and we didn't speak. I was once I'm like her sore. Cold turkey, sweated out the pores. My mother told me get over it and find another chick. Been about a week, shit, she probably found another itch. Possibility. Made her brother sick, pulling over, hopping out the whip and hurling in the ditch. Lord, forgive me. I'm shaking like a seizure and I'm sweating. I broke down and called her up. I'm begging for a session. She said it's good to see that you really enjoyed the muffin time. Ever love, I'm not the one. It's crazy. Happens to the best of us, right? No, don't. Be careful. Don't let them cook for you.
Check one, check one, check one. You're tuned to WXIR 100.9 LPFM, the Extreme Independent Radio Station. DJ Chris G here with you on a Friday night with my man Precyce Politix. The Great and Terrible album is out right now. You can grab it right now at bandcamp.com or StalloneandWeathers.com as well.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Great and Terrible.
Right here. Music joints called Muffins. Also before that, joint called What You Doing. Both, believe it or not, I have to admit to you, Precyce, both those instances you was describing, at least all of them, happened to me at one time or the other. And I see my wife is in the chat right now. This happened before me and her got together.
Yo, you gotta put that out there. I was about to say, chill.
Yeah, these things kind of happen to me. Way before it happened. Yeah, I remember those what you doing texts. Even before you text or calling, like, what you doing?
Yeah, the WYD text after midnight, that's when it's time to get right. When you get that kind of text, you already know you got a decision to make. Because, ain't nobody calling you over to chill and watch a movie. Yeah. When you get the WYD text, it's like, okay.
I remember many times I used to do a party and stuff, and then after I got home, or like maybe 2, 3 in the morning, I'd be like, who can I call?
Right. Right. And that's the thing.
Who can I hit up and be like, what's up? What you doing? And they already knew what time it was already,
Yeah, but you got to be careful, though, man. You really got to be careful out here. I had to be careful back then, but by the grace of God, I'm still here because I was out there wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, I was out there wilding. That's why I got into situations like muffins. You know what I'm saying? And for those who do know me, quiet is kept. You know what I mean? Just know that I was wilding and keep it like that. No name, no blame.
Did you mean to sequence those both songs each together like that?
Absolutely. I wrote Muffins first. And when I wrote Muffins, I was like, I want something to be like a prequel. You know what I'm saying? Because I took inspiration from joints like Redman, Superman, Lover. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Like, I love sequence joints and I love joints that keep going. Like, I love stories anyway. That's why I tell so many stories when I'm rapping, because that shows the ultimate skill. So it's like I wanted something like that. And so my man Troublemaker, shout out to Troublemaker, producer out in Brooklyn, super dope. He was like, because me and him grew up together literally from around the corner. We was kids. And he was like, yeah, Troublemaker. He was like, I got some joints for you, If your album is still open. I was like, for you, dog, it's still open. So he sent me a dope pack, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm like, yo, I'll take this one, and this one.
Mm.
And so the them joints was God's Number, um, WYD, what are you doing? And the second part of WYD. Those are the three joints that I took and put the other two joints together. And so when I heard the WYD joint, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I needed for the prequel to Muffins. And it took me 15 minutes to write that song, hook and all, because I was like, what have I told women that will come into the crib and acting nervous? Like, cause, you kind of gotta put it out there and be like, okay, if you come to the crib, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So giving you the option to back out now, because if you don't want to partake in certain things, that's what I'm looking for. I don't want you to come over. We're too grown and sexy for the sleepover. That was the first line of the song. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk about the second. That was the first line of the song. So it's like, yo, we're too grown for you to just come over here, read a comic book, play some video games, and then we go to sleep. That's not what it is. Like I
always thought that if you called somebody after 12 o'clock, there's nothing else going on. That was it.
But I still
understanding you know that in your 20s, you know this.
Yeah, you know that, but you still need to go ahead and get everything straight, because there's nothing worse than thinking XYZ is gonna happen, but instead of XYZ it's ABC, and now you sitting there hurting, literally. You know what I'm saying? So now you just let them know straight up and down, and they respect that too, because a lot of times that's what they want too. They just don't want to be the ones to say it. You know what I mean?
But that's what I kind of like, and I've come to expect from you, Precyce, right? Is the fact that you don't just give us an album basically just based on just one little subject. You basically give us a plethora of stuff. It's like you talk about some street type stuff, you talk about some normal stuff, you talk about some funny stuff, and you'll get it. You cover all aspects of kind of life in your material, and that's what I like about you. You're not just like a one-note artist where you just basically concentrate on one subject the entire album. Even with your Stone and Weathers joint, even with the Bash Brothers stuff, it was always something different on each and every track. It's never just like one note. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I treat my albums like movies. And it's like, if you are watching a movie, there's subplots, right?
Right.
Because it keeps you interested. You can't just stick on the one plot. There's subplots. There's other characters that you need to get to know. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps you grounded, and it brings you into it, because you can find something that you can relate to. If you can relate to the stuff that I'm talking about, you're going to appreciate it more than the average listener. So it's like, my life is crazy. I go through a lot of different things, and I've been through so much more. And it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always gonna have material to write about. I'm always gonna have stuff to write about, because my life is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go through so much. I mean, come on. I did a joint about my son being autistic, and then me finding out that I'm autistic too. You know what I'm saying? You can't fake that. That's something that you really gotta go through, and you really gotta appreciate and understand the highs and the lows to be able to pin a joint like that. Now, there's probably some writers out there that can fake it till they make it, and they can probably write a better joint, but it's not going to be as authentic as my joint, because I'm really in it. Like, I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to somebody, you can tell when they in it and when they faking. So, that's why my albums they touch on so many different things, because so many different things are happening to me every day.
All right. Now, one thing I will compliment you on is that you've never hidden the fact that you're a comic book head.
Yeah.
You're kind of,
Absolutely.
and let's see, one picture you sent me, you got the black and white X-Men, like #1. You got the X-Men T-shirt. You got a Superman shirt and another one, and you always threw comic book references in there. And this is one thing you just mentioned a second ago, the song about your son. And this one kind of touched me too, even though I know a couple people that have autistic children. I've never had to deal with it myself, but I kind of felt you on this with the mutant powers joint.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
basically dedicate that to your son. And I know you do anything for your son. You've always talked about your son in pretty much every one of your records, more or less. And you talk about how you're very protective of him, how you want to see him grow, do his thing. And this song right here is like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's right there, man. It's just right there. If you want like one of those song cry type songs, this is one of the joints right there. And it's very personal. It's very if you sit there and I'm gonna give you guys a preview of it. This Mutant Power joint, like I said, I think this is one of you at your peak right here.
Yeah. It's one of the best songs I've ever written.
Mm-hmm. I know if I was your son, I'd be like, yo, Dad wrote that for me. Yo, that's dope.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's what we hoping for.
And and I like the way you touched on it, and you made it kind of like normal, as far as like this isn't something that we should look down upon as someone being autistic, and finding out you're autistic yourself, like you said, that must have been a shock.
I mean,
yourself.
It wasn't a shock, because everything that Mikey went through, when you listen to the song, everything that Mikey went through, I went through as a kid. But see, back when I was a kid, they didn't know how broad the spectrum was. It was either you did your work or you didn't. And if you didn't, you suffered the consequences. They didn't care about you being scared of crowds, or, you thinking differently, processing information differently. They didn't know it back in the day, especially in Brooklyn. They didn't really know about that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know about how broad the spectrum was for autism. You know what I'm saying? And I made it normal because it is normal. Like, I talk to my son. That's how I talk to my son. It just so happened to rhyme in Mutant Powers, but that's really how I talk to my son. I always tell him, like, yo, there's nothing wrong with you. You are the best thing that's ever happened to me. I will do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm autistic too, so we're together in this. We will always be together in this. That song is hard for me to listen to because it's like super emotional. And I actually wrote that in the pickup line at his school when I was picking him up one day before I started homeschooling him. So it's a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, I got, like I said, I listened to it more than a couple times. I was like, oh, this is a dope song. And I was like, I was thinking about, I was going to ask you, but you just answered it. I was thinking about, like, well, how did you feel writing that and putting it together? And it's like, I know it was kind of hard for you. So, pretty much you answered my question even before I even said it.
I was smiling, but I had tears coming down my eyes too. And I don't care about admitting that, because ain't nobody gonna run up on me. I got some size on me. So, it don't matter. There ain't nothing soft about Precyce Boogie. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
Yeah, but I mean, so hey, stranger things have happened. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind admitting that, because I'm man enough to understand that being a father, you're going to go through all types of emotions. You know what I'm saying? And then when you express it through your art, it's just a beautiful thing. It's not just another song. Like, that song means the world to me. And it's hard for me to listen to because I know how deep it is. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm talking to my little man. I had let him hear it, and he was like, this is a good song. And then he went back to playing Roblox. I mean, it is what it is, yo. Yeah, when he gets older, then he'll understand, like, yo, my pops really put on for me. Like, my pops really put on for me. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. To God be the glory. You know what I mean?
Well, you might want to turn your volume down for a quick second, because I want to play that Mutant Powers.
I'm here, baby.
I want to play that Mutant Powers joint right there, because it's part of the album. I think it's one of the brilliant tracks on the album, and you guys should check it out. It's very, very dope. Let me take another quick break with some music. Mutant Powers, coming from Precyce Politix, from The Great and Terrible. And another joint earlier that I wanted to put in because it was a little bit more harder. It's called Address It Early.
Yeah.
I'm going to run these two tracks back to back. You guys, we're going to come back with more Precyce Politix. Y'all stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back, all right? Mutant Powers.
Yeah, man.
Long as we talking to hours about their mutant powers, that's all that matters to them.
Shout out to Shortcuts. Shortcuts produced this one.
Shout out to Shortcuts.
Yes, sir.
This kind of difficult having these powers. We stand together, father and son. We represent the thing of ours as one. And family is everything, you're not alone. I still say a prayer for you when you're not at home. And now you're in the first grade, look how much you've grown. But now they're telling me it's hard for you to focus. I remember going through the same thing in school, feeling hopeless. They never tried to understand me. I used to tell your grandmother when it came to work, I really tried to do it. But my report card would always say he needs improvement. I had a couple friends and they would try to keep me up. They was in the Trevor tried to beat me up because I kept crying. I just wanted to go home. Because when you think different, school is scary when you're all alone. I know it's really hard to focus in class. And you're nervous because you feel the teacher's going too fast. And you got so much.
My wife was a daycare provider, and she went through school. She was a teacher as well. And she's dealt with kids like this, too, before in the past.
Yep. It's everywhere, brother.
Think of it, the way your mind works is so cool. You're an inspiration. The doctors still study how you process information. So always keep your head up and learn to give yourself grace. Burn your mutant powers, let them take you to a higher place. You can be an engineer because you love the field. Plus you love computers too. You got a lot of skills. And just know what being different got you
positive reinforcement.
Yeah, man.
When the world is too loud and it sounds of some, just remember there is absolutely nothing wrong with us. So when the world is too loud and it sounds of some, just remember there is absolutely nothing wrong with us. So when the world is too loud and it sounds of some, just remember Daddy loves you. Peace.
Just enough and shit, but it's very heartfelt. Love that song right there.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Bro.
Don't ever make a mistake. I'm sticking it over. My business. If I got it out, I'll get up.
Back to the hardcore people with Precyce Politix right here.
I've been a judge and trigger finger. Handle that accordingly and promise to never forget them. Cause we can take your kindness for the weakness if you let them. And everybody that's in a circle, you can't protect them. So let's address it early. I pop you on the way to work, you get the message early. I'm telling you we're enemies. I should have sent them shots or I sent them knees. Maybe I could have avoided it. A sick part of me kind of enjoying it. Showing son with the this loyal, and it's not about the money, pal. We way past talking about money now.
Hardcore. Sound like a movie.
Telling me you're moving funny style. Looking inside of Queen still wanna hear you. Talk tough to me, how dare you? Knowing I'm the reason why you still breathing, even if you get there, I'm still squeezing. You broke my nigga over the heart, dog. You know when feds come and knock and lawyer up and never talk, dog. And now because of you, the family's apart, dog. You see me first, you better spark, dog. You ain't intended, you just learn how to walk, dog. Capital punishment for fools who disregard the rules. As 20 years, my brothers know they gotta lose. You got it out up in your chest, let's address it early. Why you living with that stress, let's address it early. You got a problem with your share, let's address it early. Oh, you wanna shoot the fair, let's address it early. You think you're right to hit the switch, let's address it early. You think you're helping with your shit, let's address it early.
Shout out to everybody in tune. Like I said, StalloneWeathers.bandcamp.com. Precyce Politix, the great and terrible.
And even when you couldn't swing it, we was down the floor. And now you're just another target looking down the scope. You really had a chance to hold it down your scope. And now again, let's put some money on your dome piece. And Christmas coming up fast, you better have your phone piece. That's why you won't sleep, your dreams will never end.
Your dreams will never end.
Yes, sir.
Check one, check one, check one. You're tuned to WXII 100.9 LPFM, your extreme independent radio station. Also on SFTU 585 Radio, available through radio.co. Yo, shout out to everybody out there tuned in. Yeah, we're running a little bit into overtime tonight. In fact, yo, shout out to anybody that's listening on SFTU 585 Radio. At 10 o'clock, my man Mikey G's coming out with his Friday night bangers joint. So the rest of the show may cut off for y'all at 10 o'clock. But for everybody that's listening on WXIR, we're going to continue on. We got a few more seconds with my man Precyce Politix. The album is called The Great and terrible. You can get it on StalloneandWeathers.com. You pick it up on Bandcamp.com, and soon will be available pretty much on your normal places where you can pay and pick it up, like
Yep.
iTunes and all the good stuff as well. Yo, and Precyce, man, I got, like I said earlier, and you know, I don't want to seem like, you know, like I said, when I do interviews, I usually get hyped, not only just for the person, you know, and I say it's because me and you've been friends for a while. We've been mad cool. But once again, this is another banger that you delivered, man. And I got it, like I said, Stallone and Weathers, that album from last year, boom. This one, my favorite album, one of my favorite albums from last year. And this one right here is probably going to go down one of my favorite albums for this year, too, as well.
I hope so, King. That means a lot.
No, I hope so. It's there. It's there. I don't get, look, people say I'm the hardest critic sometimes because I don't give too many people 4.5 mics and fire. You know, I still do the old source system. You know, where you get 5 mics, 4 mics, 4.5 mics. And since I don't have a half mic, I'll do four mics and a fire. That's my 4.5. Okay.
Word.
And I don't rate any. If you're below a 3, I don't even mention your name. I don't even review albums that just got 2 mics. I don't even put it up on my page. But yours, as soon as I heard it, I was like, man, that's how can I
Thank you.
This album? And I say, yo, going by the broad spectrum of every song on this album, and you had you didn't lengthen the album out. You didn't pad it out with interludes or nothing like that. You didn't pad it out with mad skits. You didn't have unnecessary guests and stuff on it. And the beats was banging on each and every one. And and plus the Mutant Powers joint kind of sent me over there. And then, like I said, there's just too much on this album as a hip hop listener. To me, was more than enough.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I couldn't give it any worse rating than what I gave it.
Wow. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And I appreciate you taking the time to kick it with me, man. You know, this means a lot to me. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is my best album thus far. I got a lot more in me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep living. So because I'm gonna keep living, I'm gonna have stuff happen to me, excuse me. So I'm gonna keep writing too. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that's gonna happen. Precyce Politix will be a household name. And
no doubt,
when I do put down the microphone, when I feel like that's enough for me, I will have made such a mark that my name will ring like church bells from time to come. That's going to happen. I'm speaking that into existence. And the only way I can do that is to keep giving you guys what I've been giving you guys, just keep improving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, all I can see is there's nothing but improvement. The only way I can't see this, you not popping up, is that not more than enough people aren't listening. That's the only way I can see it. Otherwise than that, anybody that listens to these albums or listen to anything from Precyce Politix, here's a whole super big catalog. You know, if you listen to any of these albums, you're going to get enveloped into it. As you can see, he's a cool ass dude, fatherly figure, and believe it or not, the Stallone and Weathers album happened when we didn't think there was never going to be a collaboration between you and K Hill ever again.
Yep, and that show
also came right on the heels of an accident that you and Drug Beats was in.
Yep.
And I was so happy that you got through that you survived and you made more new music. And then I was like so gratified to see you and K Hill made up like men. I shook hands. I really don't know how y'all actually did it. I think you discussed it the last time you came on, but y'all made up and y'all put out beautiful music together.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a part of growth too. Like, we was going through what we was going through, but if he ever called me and needed me, I would have been there. And it is the same thing with him. And it took me almost losing my life for the second time to really sit down and be like, yo, I've made too much music with this brother, and me and him have been through too much to sit there and let it end like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it almost ended like that. And so I'm like, nah, life is too short. You know what I mean? So he actually came to see me while I was laid up, broken up and all that, you know, because of the car accident. And we sat and we talked. And I was like, yo, man, I don't want Stallone and Weathers to be done, bro. And he was like, yo, I feel the same way. I'm gonna start cooking some stuff up tonight. And he started cooking. And he sent me the beat to Walk Again. And I wrote Walk Again to that while I was still learning how to walk again. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, I mean, life is too short, man. Whatever little beef you got, you know, as long as it's not something crazy, if you can dead it, dead it. Even if you don't even talk to the person no more, still dead that. Don't have that on your heart, man, because
address it early.
Yeah, address it early, my man. Address it early, yo. Why you got that knot up in your chest? Let's address it early. Just talk it over. It don't always gotta end in fists and guns. It could end in just talk. And you can both agree to disagree and not speak to each other no more. Or you can agree that, yo, what you have is too special for it to die like that. Brothers are always gonna fight, bro. That's it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? You see Stallone and Weather just came out with the cost of doing business. We're working on another joint as we speak. So yeah, it's we gonna flood y'all. We gonna flood y'all, man. But for right now, Precyce Politix, the great and terrible, say it all like a Tribe Called Quest, and it's out there now, man.
No, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you. I appreciate being on your mailing list. I appreciate being one of your favorite DJs. You know, to me that just sends me through the moon. It makes me feel a whole lot better. You know, there's times where I sit. Sometimes I wonder what the hell am I doing this for? Sometimes, but then I get people like you that get in my inbox and be like, "Yo, Chris, I got something for you," and I be like, "This is why I do it."
Yeah, man. I gotta come up there and do a show. I gotta come up there and do a show too.
As soon as I get this thing set up, which will probably be but for summer, don't worry, you're on the list, bro. You on the list.
Holla at me. Holla at me. I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna come up there. Like that's a done deal. You can go ahead and sign me up, bro. I'm gonna come up there.
I bet. No problem. Yep. Anything else you wanted to kick it about before we let you go?
Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Shout out to everybody that's bought the album. Shout out to everybody who's going to buy the album after this. You know, shout out to all the DJs, you included, especially, that's been spinning all of my joints from day zero. You know, shout out to my producers, K Hill, Drugs Beats, Sharp Cuts, Treble Maker, Ace Dizzy Flow. So Ace Dizzy Flow was the one that made Address It Early. Like, he made that beat. Super dope producer, part of something called the Genius Party.
Jamal Matters.
He did. And shout out to Jamal Matters too. He's dope too. Shout out to the Genius Party, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to OC from NC for putting me on my first festival with the Shrimp and Grits Festival that I rocked out. You know, that was really cool. Man, just keep rocking, keep living, keep doing what you're doing, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for everybody and everything around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dope because the people around me make me dope. So thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep it up for your son. Shout out to your son. You know, keep raising your son correct. And like I said, you just keep coming out with these bangers, man. And you know, I'm there to support each and every time, man, no matter what.
God bless you for that, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yo, people, Precyce Politix, once again, the great and terrible, right now available at StalloneandWeathers.com. Once again, I got to say it again, StalloneandWeathers.com. For those people that didn't catch that, catch it at Bandcamp.com. And the album's out right now. And this is like a Chris G four mic and fire album. Go out and go grab this joint. You won't be sorry. You won't even be mad at me. Be like, yo, what did Chris do? No, you're going to be like, damn, I'm glad Chris recommended this album.
That makes sense.
Of course, and if we haven't convinced you with the few cuts we played, if you keep listening to Straight from Underground for the next couple months, you're going to hear more of these joints, as well as a lot of Stallone and Weathers and Precyce Politix joints as well. So stay tuned.
Yep, definitely, man.
Yo, Precyce, appreciate you. Thank you for coming in, brother.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me, man. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks to everybody who tuned in.
Fam, for me, everybody that's down with you that know me already, tell them what's up? I expect new cuts from them pretty soon. Sharp Cuts, I see you. Mars, yo, I'll be waiting for an album from you for a second. Let's go. And
Yeah, man.
everybody, yo, Drug Beats, keep doing your thing too as well. Troublemaker, glad to meet you. And yo, you did your thing on this album too, dog. All right. Anyway, yo, we're gonna get into some more music right here, straight from the Underground 2.0. Let's see. Thank y'all for listening. We appreciate you guys. But we're gonna get into some new music from my man. One of my old school people that I've always been a big fan of is the Alcoholics. In fact, yeah, guys, I'm pretty sure you guys recall the infamous story with me. My brother Jermaine got drunk with Tash from the Alcoholics on one of their tour buses because they didn't think we could down some 40 ounces with them, and we ended up getting smashed on their bus. Tash has a new joint out called Attention is a Drug. You know, check it out. Brand new. Shout out to my man C Reality from Flip the Script Radio for putting me on to this joint. Straight from Underground 2.0. Once again, shout out to Precyce Politix. Check them out at Side Boogie.
Yep, Cyce Boogie. Yeah, Cyce Boogie.
What was that again?
Yeah, Cyce Boogie. So it's
Instagram.
CYCEBOOGIE. Cyce Boogie.
Yeah, I see a lot of people was asking me like, "What? How can I follow him?" He put it up there, and you guys can go ahead and check it out right there. He's on Instagram. Just start punching in Precyce Politix. It'll come up.
Yep.
Yo, straight from Underground 2.0 on FM. It's Chris G, WXIR, 100.9 FM. Let's go. Tash, what's going on?
Hey.
All right. Good.
All right. That was dope, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And once again, I appreciate you sending me the album. That's another banger. Loving it. You of course, you know you're gonna see me